All right. Welcome everybody to the Bookmap Academy meeting. We do this, as you guys know, every Thursday, and this is your time. Market's just closed, so it's for you we go over your journaling in the Academy and give the feedback and the coaching. And we do that, every day in the chat room, but this is where we open the mic for you to come in and tell us like what were you looking at, why were you doing this, tell us about the trade and the way that you traded, and any kind of help that we can give you. That is the goal. It is all part of the Bookmap Academy program. So for those of you who don't know about it, just go to bookmap.com, click on the more button here. Oh, I don't have my screen going, sorry guys. All right. Discord, I got it in YouTube. There we go. All right, how is that? Now can you see it?
Yep, all good, thanks.
Okay, all right, thanks, David. So go to bookmap.com and then click on the more button here. Go to Bookmap Academy under community here. And you can read through it. You can apply right here and then come into the Slack channel and start journaling your Bookmap trading. You can read through the steps here. You can get Bookmap for free in step 2 as part of the Bookmap Academy. When you apply to the Junior Academy, get accepted to Junior Academy, and that's your testing ground to see if you can get into the Bookmap Academy at that point. So show us something, get invited to the Bookmap Academy, make the thresholds, and then you can get Bookmap for free. And we've been living up to it. There's a handful of you guys in here that have gone through this process. Next step is become a coach if you want. You can get data for free, and you can become a streamer as well. And we're working on this one over here. So more stuff coming in the future. Interesting program advancements here. All right, so we're going to go through your trades. I need to go through some news, and then we'll turn it over to David and let him start with some of the coaching. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let's see. Over in Discord, like this event now is only in Discord, right? So we are recording it in YouTube, but it will be released later. We're building our Discord community, so we want to invite people in, but we want to keep the riffraff out, basically. So the way we're doing that is you need to verify your email. Okay, it's not much to ask. Anyway, take your screenshot here with your phone, and you can sign up. For the Bookmap Blue Jacket for September, sign up for that as well. You can find it on bookmap.com and under Blue Jacket or bookmap.com/Blue Jacket. For the new month in September, it's going to be for October, but we'll be offering. That's correct? I think. Anyway, last month we had a one-on-one offered with me. Slowdown was the winner of that one. So whenever Slowdown is ready, we'll go through his personal mentoring and coaching. This next month is going to be with Doug. So that should maybe stimulate some of you guys, especially you options traders out there. If you want a one-on-one with Doug, he's really become quite the expert with his options trading with all sorts of different things going on there. Great stuff. All right, so anyway, that's what you can win for the Bookmap Blue Jacket. And then just the end of September, we're going to offer this 2 times the credit when you trade from Bookmap. For you Academy guys. Okay, so that's the quota or threshold, quantitative threshold. You'll get twice the credit with the trading from Bookmap. We've got, I got a lot of news to go through with you all. We have a new trading journal, as you guys know, but we have a new sharing feature, and I'm going to demo that here in just a minute. And also you can see, like, you can see the equity curve. I've been showing this equity curve for several months in here, and then all of a sudden, boom, a huge difference here. The reason being is that there's a demo account that you now have access to, and I'm basically, I have a lot of liquidity in that I can trade in there to try to I'm trying to break it or find bugs. So anyway, you can see it kind of whippy as well. Nonetheless, I'll show you that as well. This is a great feature, and I'll show you the sharing feature. And then one more thing, next week, Pro Trader webinar series. Okay, so it's still kind of in development here. We have Thor, though, from Bear Bull Traders. We have Brandon Trades, and we have Massey Trades. These are new. Well, they've been with Bookmap for quite a while, but we've never had a Pro Trader webinar with them. Okay, so and there's a few more that we're trying to get into the mix here for next week. We'll see what pans out. A few of them already just got back to me, and they said they cannot make it. So anyway, new stuff here. Want to bring that to you guys. Check out new traders, new strategies, etc. And that's it. So in fact, let me jump in here, and I want to show you first off. Hold on a minute. Get rid of all the lines. And I don't want to show you Bookmap here necessarily. I want to show you the trading journal. Hold on a minute. Bring that up. Okay, so how you can get to the trading journal from Bookmap. First off, go to studies configuration up here, and then you'll scroll down, and you'll need to have trading statistics opened here. So if you don't see that, you can go to the add-ons manager in here and click on that and add trading statistics, then check the box. Once you've checked the box, you can open your trading statistics window here, and you can plug all of this in within your Excel spreadsheet if you want to track it that way, or you can select the journal and sync it, the trading statistics, with your trading web journal here, and then open it here, and then that will open it over here. Okay, so and here it is. Now, we just offered this sharing feature in here, and I'll share it with you guys. So this is looking at all of my journals here, and then I want to show you this new simulation demo paper trading journal, and this one is similar to our competitions. Basically, you cannot move or delete or manipulate these trays. They stay in here. So what you see is what you get, and it's kind of hard coded that way, so you can forward test and in the live environment and see how it comes out. And anyway, here, I'll share this one with you guys right now. You can see you can put in an email here and share it, or you can just copy the link, and then we'll close it, and I'll put it here into Discord in the chat here. I'll put it into the Academy chat. Okay, hold on a minute. I'll put it in both here. All right, there's my trading journal, if you guys want to check it out. And then also in Bookmap room here, Academy. Okay, here. Okay, there you go. All right, so you're going to see some weird stuff in this one, to be honest, and some huge size in here. 75 contracts, 140 contracts sometimes, and you can see the whipsawiness in here. So again, it's trying to break this thing or test this thing, and we found a bunch of bugs through doing this. So that's been the goal in here. Anyway, it's play around with it, have some fun with it. It's $100,000 that you'll get, and trade some size in there as well. it's a great thing because if you trade some size in here, this is something where it 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 starts to kind of mentally focus you to where you can get filled as a larger player. And that's a different way of looking at things. Anyway, it's a different mindset in that sense. Yeah, just have some fun here. This is a great feature. You will not be able to use it in replay mode or anything like that. It's only forward testing in live environment here. All right. So anyway, it's a great tool, and you can get it through. It's all free. Just go through that trading statistics. And let me see. Jack had also wanted me to demo that, so that's why I took a little while in there. And let's see, anything else? Any other questions? No, I don't think so. Let me double check. No, okay, we're good. All right, guys. Well, then let's turn it over to David, and we'll let him go through some of the coaching. So
fantastic. Thanks, Bruce. Good afternoon and good evening, traders. That is fantastic. Really is, Bruce. How things have developed. I know I can, like Moby, talk about Bookmap many years ago, but just how far it has come when you look back, it's mind-bending, really. Credit to all the developers and all the tips that do come in for the tweaks and tunes and so forth. So yeah, very good. Right. Valley fan, I think you're in the room. Last time I checked. If Dan can get you onto the mic, that would be good. I've got the Amazon trade and the Apple looker to have a look at, which is nice to be covering some stocks, I think, today, Bruce, which is good. You've also got in here the spot gamma options area. You know, if I can just quickly sort of repeat some of the lines we tread very much. Options play such a large part of stocks and equities, and sure, if you listen to, as Bruce had called out, if you listen to Doug and others and so forth and Jack, you see that day in, day out. David and his stories, it always reminds me of the Big Short film. And you've got Selena Gomez in there, and she's sort of explaining in simple language about derivatives and so forth. If you haven't seen that clip or the film, perhaps go and have a look at it. There's no denying that options have a very firm tiller, hand on that tiller every day in terms of stock prices. And as you hear me talk about, the same really more and more on futures in one way, shape or form. So good to be able to talk that through today. Valley fan, good evening.
Hey.
How's it going, buddy? Good, yourself?
Good, real good.
Right, shall we have a look, Bruce, at the first chart, which is a sort of longer lens view of Amazon, and you took some shorts on this, and you can see some of the screen grabs. If you want to perhaps give us the context, and we can talk it all along, please.
Which I'm trying to remember which option level this was, but it came up to S4 all the way down from S6. So
yeah,
S4 and below is a selling range that I like to look at. So especially if we've come back up to S6 and we've tested, threw in some great wicks there. And so I entered at probably not the best entry. I could have gone in a little sooner, but I wasn't quite sure. It was throwing some wicks and trying to push over, but it really threw in a wick like the 2 minutes before my entry.
Yeah.
It's like it's got a nice pinhead there. Didn't really test my stop and came down. I got a couple good partials at the 184 level. And I really wanted to get back down to S6 and probably go all out, but it just couldn't get back there. Tried one ad, didn't work out, and then it started to climb back up on me, and I let it go.
I like the volume profile you've got. Sorry to chip in on the left there. It's a very useful ad on the charts, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the grey bit, Bruce, as you know. Really gives a
good right there on that side. Yeah,
real good feel.
And then I like to have the delta on Bookmap to see. It just points out the areas of large selling and large buying.
Yeah. Okay. Bruce has flipped us to the Bookmap chat. So if you want to perhaps talk about that, I mean, it's a lovely chart, as you say. You've got the Camarilla levels in there. You've got the building liquidity. coming in, building an S4, it sort of peekaboo, disappears. You've got the POC, you got your VWAP, the usual voodoo, as I would call it. Great entry. You've got the lower liquidity, as you say, much further down. That was your target. Just S6 and below.
That big liquidity still sitting there at S6. That's the one I really wanted to get to, but it just started to stall out a little bit. We got a buying, it popped. I think what happened was the markets had popped up, and then it just couldn't recover on the way back down. So a couple parcels.
Yeah. Bruce, can you flip to the first spot gamma chart? So this is the one that you posted in the room, and then I've added. I went back to spot gamma, got a chart out. So talk us through how you're looking at this one, please.
I've just been talking to Jack, and I always see these levels with large liquidity, and I'm thinking they're targets, and not knowing what actually they were, and a lot of them were big option levels. So lately, I've really been trying to focus my trades around cams with these large option levels.
Nice.
And they provide really good support and resistance.
They do.
Yeah, especially like a large level like this. Like it was great. It was perfect.
Yeah, they're very. I'm going to ape the word off Moby. You probably already used the word zone of interest. So I appreciate interest doesn't begin with E, but the Zoe. And I glance at these all the time, and then they do come up on the hero chart as well. But you're right, they're magnets. They can repel. They black ice warnings, whichever phrase we wish to use. So it's very wise to look at these, and certainly I think these days, to my intro, trade in equities without looking at where the options interest is. You're trading really with one arm behind your back, or if it crashes in the room, you're flying with one eye shut. It's not the best thing to do, really. But
and I feel like this was just the next step for me after Jack started kind of explaining everything to me, and he'd do some coaching with me about it, and I just started watching the levels, and I was like, okay, these line up with my cams. Like this is going to be a lot of confluence, and I've had some really good success implementing this last month.
Yeah, they're great tools. They really are. There's the other spot gamma chart, Bruce, if you can put that up. Now, I don't know if you have access to that, Valley Fan. If you have that one there, so
the hero.
Do you have access to hero? I didn't see it on your dashboard, so I don't know if
I started with the alpha. I did like a 2-week free trial, but then I was like, this is all just too much. So I just went down to the equity hub, and I'm just learning about the option levels and the different type of spreads large players like to do, and how those levels react, especially around my cams.
Perfect. Yeah, and the equity hub is fantastic. This hero is a live chart, so it's real time during the day. So I've gone back and I pulled it up, so it doesn't have the levels on it like it would during the day. And at the moment, I think there's only a week of data. So on your next Apple chart, I couldn't go back. But what's interesting here, the times are all the same. So if we look at 11 o'clock on here, you can see just before 11, which is I call it the mustard or the orange line. So that's the calls. People are getting out of calls, as I prefer to describe it, and the price is going down. So you're on the right side of that short. It's a compressed view for the day, but I think everyone can see that orange line starts to go north and join the puts line that is going north, and that is ahead of the price. By a couple of minutes, maybe it might be 2 or 3, 4 minutes, that people are starting to get into calls while the price is going down. And that pressure you've clearly seen there, where you started to take another short that actually, this is going against me, and you rightly took your money and got out. Yeah. So this is as you talk about, this is another level, another foreground within the options market. And what I like to talk about on this is the sort of swing. So you can see that orange line was at basically minus 24 million. And it's not long within, whether it's 30 minutes or so, it's back up to nearly 20 million. So it's been a swing of 40 or so million. And then what I do, I look at then on the far right side, that 30-day hero range, and that's giving you a feel of you can see it's going from minus 133 to plus 210. So I'm knowing that that's quite a sizable move. We saw that today on spiders at the start of the day when the price was going down. I think we got to about minus 800 million on spiders. But when the market turned, it had whipped back all of that 800 million and added some. So, round up, happy to be corrected on that, but we basically got $1 billion worth on the buy side went through when the market was turning. So if you're looking at your ES or your NASDAQ and you're thinking, are we going to turn? Then seeing that the options market has turned by $1 billion, it's not a trade signal, as Bruce would rightly correct me, but it adds to your confluence of the phrase I often say to Brent is that, I just don't want to pick a fight with a gorilla. If you've seen as you're seeing here, if you're seeing that swing up, you certainly wouldn't perhaps want to be shorting more. You just want to sit in your hands and just see what happens, so to speak. So, but good trading, great use and nice charting. The only thing perhaps to add on the charting for easy for me to say is I do really love the candle chart you got at the start. Maybe if you have sort of like a H4, a 4-hour chart, or even a daily, just can give it a little bit more context to traders. But this is the thing I know we've talked about, haven't we, Bruce, in terms of the posts that go into Discord are very often the here and now-ish. I know if people see my trades and my posts in Spot Gamma, they think, David, you've got a few words, lots of typos and a couple of charts, but I'm just letting people know what I'm actually doing there and then, so to speak. So great stuff. Do we have a look then at the app? I think it's Apple. I didn't catch the name off. So it's a bit further down, Bruce, and then we'll perhaps cut into you.
Yeah, that is Apple. I didn't even put it on there, but yeah, it's Apple.
Yeah, you didn't trade it, but it's textbook, isn't it? In terms of your Camarilla level, the liquidity, waterfall down through and you've got all the prices at those double zeros, 221, 220. They're all at those dollars. So the institutional traders. Of course, I would need to lean in, Bruce, into Joseph J. Trader to correct me on all of that. So, tell us a little bit more about this before, and as well as that hammer candle, please.
I didn't get to take this trade. I think it was on the same day as that Amazon one.
Okay.
I was in that trade and I missed this one, and I went and looked at the chart and I was like, oh, but the Apple on this trade was coming from above S4 to touch S4. So then I am looking to go long off S4.
Nice.
Whereas before we were coming up to S4 from S6, that I would be looking to go to short. Just the fours are a one side or the other, buy side on the high side, sell side on the low side. Beautiful. So this one came up, it put in a beautiful pivot candle and just took off.
That's a phenomenal.
One of the ones that, you're like, oh man.
It's a Steve Nissen. Bruce. I know Bruce is always in for candle. That's a Steve Nissen candle, isn't it? It really is. It really is. So, Bruce,
that's what you want to see. If you're looking for pivots, that's the kind of candles you want to see.
You do, and it's the simplest, isn't it? At times, it's the thing. I know we can all make it sort of complicated, and we like to, but really, some of the fundamental stuff just stares you in the face.
Yeah,
where the entrance. It is really. Bruce, help me, please. Catch me.
No, I mean, in terms of order flow on this, I don't really see. It's a beautiful trade down, and then trying to catch this though in terms of order flow. There's only one thing that I really kind of see, and that would be here, where you've got high liquidity, it's trading into it, trades through it, and then it comes back. This is that kind of curl around, and it's not a whole lot of buy volume, but it's here where it's at the same level and there's more buyers and you start to see a little bit of follow through. But boy, I'd be pretty quick, out at some of these levels here, just because I don't know if this is going to do this again, but I have a question. My question revolves around your belief in the S4 or your pivot levels here. If you see just enough to give you some insight, will you take the trade?
Yeah, that hammer candle right there would have been enough.
Really?
That would have
Okay.
been real tight entry. The break of that candle would have been my entry
Okay. So you would have
with the
gotten in
stop at the low.
right around here.
Yeah, with a stop right at the low.
Okay. Yeah. So kind of the
And then,
same level. We're kind of looking at, I think,
Yeah.
probably
yeah.
right in here someplace. But and then the stop below and give it a shot, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, order flow wise, like so. You don't have a whole lot, but what you do have is got high liquidity, the transaction into it. We don't see too much selling down here, very little. And then we see this is kind of a toxic move here. I mean, like it immediately comes back up. You know, someone's buying it. And it doesn't take too much in here, but once they're above this kind of level in here with that liquidity, it gives them some insight. But again, it's more of a higher time frame with your S4 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that was also a big option level that day too, but I don't think
Ah,
I got uh, the picture from Spot Gamma. So, but I know lately 220 has been a big level on Apple.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got that liquidity building at 222 as well at the top. I appreciate it's a couple of bucks above, but you can sort of give it a little bit of bit of intent. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's my feedback on this one.
Yeah, good trading, good trading. And Jack had said to me, I think Bruce wasn't it yesterday, he said, "Oh, because I use Spot Gamma slightly differently to Jack, and probably he uses it slightly differently to Doug, and so forth. It's worth me saying, Bruce, that there are other option services available, as traders will know, for for fair balance and so forth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I really like what you said earlier, David. Like,
Mm,
it's not a signal.
no, I wish it
It's
was.
and in fact, the picking a fight with a gorilla is a pretty good analogy, because it's so the options are so influential, and like if you know you're going against that, boy, you know, hang on.
Yeah,
But if you're going with it and you see some other confluences, and you know something in the order flow to finally get you to trigger, you know, give it a shot. Absolutely. Uh,
yeah. Thor will probably be talking a lot about this next week. You can
okay.
ask him.
Okay.
He knows more about pivot candles than I do,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
getting the timing off the cam level.
Excellent. I'm really excited. Like, it's all kind of you know new blood, fresh blood
Hmm.
in the webinar series. Excited to see and hear from some of these guys.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. I think it's going to be great. I think he's going to do really well. I think you're going to enjoy him.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to
Yeah.
it. All right. I think we got everything from you here,
Yeah.
Vale.
No, it's good trading. Good trading.
Awesome. Thank you, David.
No, pleasure. And nice seeing the candles. I often think, Bruce, when I'm looking at candles, it's because I'm going to politely say, like you, I'm a bit old school, and that candles are what I learned to trade on. So they can be a bit of a comfort blanket, but they do give some nice signals alongside, or support what I'm seeing in Bookmap. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, go ahead. Sorry, Vale.
I take the 1 minute. I take a 1 and a 30 minute just for my files on my trades.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's usually what I put it up, just so you can kind of see what. Because I like to see candle charts too, in
Yeah.
order to kind of work out areas and see where areas are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I don't have any problem with it. It's just like you know what you know we've come after looking at Bookmap for so long, we understand what makes up the candle,
Yeah.
Hmm.
because otherwise, like, why the heck would you even consider that? You know, oh well, I bought because this is a hammer. What? That has nothing to do with it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's all about this is trying to it's a kind of derivative of order flow. It's very much a derivative of order flow. It's not. We know what the candle means in terms of reading the books. Oh, you buy here, you sell there, whatever.
Yeah.
But how many times do they fail, and why do they fail? Well, look at the order flow. It'll help you. So that's why, like, just understand what's within that candle, and that's, if you got that, you've got pretty solid candlestick, trading strategy.
You do, yeah,
Yeah,
and
well, I
yeah.
use them. I use them both. I have the 1 minute chart just to the left of Bookmap, but most of the time I'm just looking at Bookmap and the time and sales and glancing left at the chart to kind of see how close we're getting to a new 1 minute high, or to see if I
Mhm.
get, a hammer candle, a pivot candle, a doji, a pinhead candle, something like that that signals me we've got a
Yes.
buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've got someone to play out, and then I look at Bookmap and I'm seeing, the green bubbles and everything come through. And if we're selling, we're going sideways, but we're buying, we're pushing up and pushing up hard. That just gives me more the confidence that I need to,
Yeah.
because
Excellent.
I don't
Yeah.
think I could trade off just the candles and the time and sales. Like having the visual of what is going on inside those little 3 minutes is just invaluable.
It is. What I do like, I will have said before about candle charts, and when we segue into DNT Matter on FMOC yesterday, is that where that market, that time of day, is so frenetic, everything's going crazy up and down. A candle chart, because it's a fixed time thing, as you're saying, you can look at those 3 bars over 3 minutes or whatever time you've got it at, and it's sort of calm. If you take the point, that's why I find them useful. In a
Mhm.
battle, I can look at my time chart and it's not going too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I love head and shoulders patterns, and you can
Yeah,
see those so much faster on Bookmap than you can on a chart. Like it's not even comparable.
yeah.
I'll see a nice head and shoulders pattern getting ready to take a reversal, and I look at the candles and it's
Mhm.
just a bunch of junk. Like you can't see it, but like I can see it clearly,
Yes.
on the Bookmap chart.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. In terms of sort of books on this one, I think, as you touched a little bit, Bruce, probably every sort of textbook has candles and so forth. I've said a few times Steve Nissen, I think he's often held out wrongly or rightly as the sort of the godfather of Japanese candle arts and so forth. But yeah, good stuff. And nice to see in the comments there of support of candles as well. So well done. Good stuff. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure. DNT, good evening, sir.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Very well. Yourself?
Oh, doing well, doing well. Working on some checklists and stuff like that. It's kind of, man, it's time consuming to like actually kind of do it, But I have
Mm-hmm.
an idea of what I'm looking at. Having a lot more success than I've had in the past with these absorption levels, and the picture that you brought up here is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I look forward to talking about this. And Bruce hasn't asked me to do it, but I've started sort of putting down my sort of checklist. And it's scary what I glance at sort of during the thing. Obviously, bookmap the flows, there's patterns, there's mood music, there's the voodoo levels that I sort of talk about. There's then things KP2, which won't mean a lot to everyone, but it was touched about by Sharega last week. KP2 is a
Mm-hmm.
proprietary indicator that I
Mm-hmm.
run that looks at the change of limit orders and market orders, so it can give a bit of a feel. But yeah, right, sir.
Right.
Tell
Yeah, I
me
noticed
about you.
that.
Tell me about yesterday, because it's great to see you. Great to see you trading on this one. I guess an easy statement for any of us, Bruce, is that there's nothing wrong with not trading things like FMOC. There's nothing wrong with just letting that carnage happen, because it is, I think, probably fair to say, a high risk time of the week, of the month, of the quarter to go and have a trade. And certainly when I approach it, I do approach it with a sort of boxing mentality. I am going to take some hits. My win-loss ratio is not going to be good, but that's the price I've paid to go into that ring and have a go at it and try and take some points out. So over to you, sir, please.
Man, yeah, if you can lower your risk, and if it's like obeying your levels pretty well, or
Yeah,
following your levels pretty well, you have an idea of the auction, and you can lower your risk and enter, but you have to widen those stops,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you have to be quick too, is another thing, and like you widen your stops, but you still got to be quick to widen your stops.
Yep.
Yeah. And so there was the VPOC obviously is an absorption level was an absorption level for me that day, and it's kind of obvious because that's where all the main volume is at. But the way it respected it was just so clean, and I missed the long, but I wasn't able to get on the long, and I don't really even know. I didn't really plan that trade out anyways, so I mean that's fine. But it seems to obeyed it pretty well. Deep retracement to that VPOC area. It grabs that liquidity,
Yeah.
and then liquidity comes right back in. Boom, pushes it up.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
And goes right back up to that 30 level, and huge absorption there. Large delta. I mean, I don't know like who had their eyes on 30, 57.30, but I mean, it seems like everybody probably had their eyes on that level, and it just seemed to obey it pretty well. And should I say picked it? It picked the stops, grabs the liquidity, picks those, and then picks the zone, and then pushes down.
Yeah.
And and then you go into the FOMC press conference, and then it goes up, grabs that heavy liquidity right up above, and then impulses down, all breaking through that 30, and then pulling back up to it, and then picking the zone again, and then breaking down.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
It was. And again, easy. We haven't said it yet, Bruce, with the Monday morning quarterbacks sort of thing. But the key thing that hit me yesterday, and I was trading with a friend at the time, but is that the price went up and it came right back down. It didn't print a higher low. It just came straight down, and that was sort of, again, I know it's Monday morning. It's easy to look at it and think, okay, it didn't have the guts. It wasn't going to scoot off up to 6,000 as I was wishing, or so forth, yesterday, which was a clue. And as you say, then when that liquidity came in, that strong liquidity building in, but what the chart, I think the word is sort of, doesn't belie or belies, is that, as you rightly said, that those moves are so big, and your stops need to be so wide to have a chance of getting in the right direction. That's for sure. And you've also then, when you look at the volume bars below, those can often be misleading, just simply, just as they are. That zone, that time where you're thinking, okay, there's a lot of buying going on, but the price isn't actually going up, or vice versa, as much as it should do or could do, which in itself is a tell in terms of they're not able to push it up because it's just not happening. They're getting smacked in the face. They're getting the teeth knocked out.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it wanted to bounce off that VPOC.
Yeah.
Another thing about that is when you're trading on the chart, and I wanted to bring this up to Bruce, and I keep forgetting to do it, but when you're trading on the chart, it'd be nice to see like your like how much you're risking right there on the chart. Like I can't really see it like in the dome or on the chart to see like how much I'm risking when I move, let's say, my stop up above. Let's just say I were to move my stop up to like 42 or something like that, and I'm on MES contract or something, and I can't really see like how much I'm really like risking. I kind of have to gauge it or guess with my head. I'm trading off of structure and liquidity, but I don't really know exactly how much that is in points or ticks or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good ask for Bruce, because I'm with you in terms of some of you see in the morning my post from CTrader, which is my CFD platform, and I use that pretty much just to be able to look at the European indices rather than put them onto Bookmap and have another feed. And that, where I move my stops around or profit targets, it shows me, if I've clicked on it, it shows me in dollars. And I used to use a trading platform many years ago, Bruce, called Pro Real Time, and that also had the ability to have the dollar value on your levels.
Or the Thinkorswim price ladder as well, something like that.
Yeah, it's assuring or reassuring. It's that instant in the battle, isn't it? You can see, okay, I've got 20, 50,
Right.
$2 at risk here. Okay, I better pull that in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
One for
Right.
the developers, Bruce.
It is, yeah, one for the developers. Actually, to be honest, a lot of the traders that we've talked to over the years, they don't want to see anything that relates to dollar value.
I don't either. I actually
they request to take that off.
I only put it in ticks, but like we can change ticks and dollars in the what's that? Our active position on the top and on the left. We can change that. We can even turn it off. Like having that feature on chart would be nice too.
To toggle it, yeah. On Ninja, Stephen might correct me in the chat. We can have it on the trade line, but you can't. In terms of the stop or the take profit, there's no dollar signs or anything, is there, Stephen, that I've ever found? So,
I mean, you're talking about this here, like putting it up here, right?
Yeah. Or no, I was actually saying like on the right, like on the
right.
When you're trading from
here in this.
No, the right. So when you put a stop limit.
You mean if you set a trade in here?
Yeah. Similar to like Thinkorswim. Okay. Let me see if I can find my suggestion and I'll post it.
So I'll go along here. Oh, hold on. Try it again. Go along here, and you mean if I move my stops out like this, it'll show ticks. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ticks or dollars or whatever you wanted to. Okay. Whatever you wanted.
Right. Okay. All right. One for the developers. Another one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like they've got nothing else to do. Add it to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. This would be huge, man. This would be so nice to have.
Yeah. I'm no promises whatsoever on
that,
but we'll see what we can do. I don't even know if they have something like that in the roadmap. But boy, I'll tell you, we're we have a lot of other stuff on the roadmap that's pretty exciting and that's coming up, and being able to trade multiple accounts, etc.
Yes, yeah, that was
really great stuff. So, and now we've got this demo environment for you. We've got the trading journal as well. You can share the journal. We can go over your journals as well in these Bookmap Academy meetings and say like, hey, your biggest loser's way bigger than your biggest winner here, etc. That can be really helpful for feedback for you guys as well. Anyway.
Yeah, that's exciting too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, developers, man, those guys got it in.
Yeah,
they got a lot ahead of them.
Yeah.
It would be neat if we're putting our stops on structure and liquidity. It'd be nice to see like what that would actually look like translated to risk, especially like on the FOMC. Like I don't really know what I was risking there, but I was just trading micros. But still, that mean I was putting my stop maybe 10 points out or something like that. Like whoa.
Yeah, and that can happen.
I don't really even know. Yeah, and I don't even know what I put it to. So I don't even know what I'm risking. I'm just putting it to structure and liquidity. I'm like, all right, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yesterday was, I don't know how you found it, Bruce, but yesterday was more choppy than I'm used to. But I know it's a subjective thing, and it depends how we're all feeling. But yeah, it wasn't a nice fight. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was pretty choppy. I mean, it's I really like what you put in here, DNT. Before the press conference, you should be. I mean, it's really great to see that you're aware. I know the press conference is coming up. I want to be flat, or I want to, deal with my scaling at this point because that's a whole nother event. It's a whole nother fundamental event coming out, and it's a complex one because what are we looking for? What is he going to say? What are traders looking for? Powell to say. So there's a whole bunch of things, and the volatility it can be like a totally different day after the press conference or during the press conference. I don't know, David. Anything more on this one?
Not really. I did attach the more sort of detailed fight charts, DNT, but I think you've covered it already. That it was nice. You put the 3 charts up, didn't you, in Discord, which was great. So these are sort of like a closer zoomed in lens of what you've talked to, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I wasn't able to adjust my stop quickly on that one right there where you just zoomed in on. That one there, that was a mistake on my end. I should have moved that a little bit higher, a little bit above the liquidity and probably above the yesterday's high. I mean, of course, in hindsight, even just a little bit higher. Put it like right below it. I don't even know if I moved it. I think I just left it as it was.
It's tough. It moves so damn quick. Big swings. It really does. You can see there from the chart where you've just gone from sort of 5735 and it's scooted down 20, 30 points handles in a matter of minutes or seconds. It's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal day.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit of feedback on this. Like after getting annihilated in some of these events over the years, what I find is keep an eye on ATR. How much can this move? And then anticipate that, because like sometimes you think, oh, I'm just going to short like this little, like pull back to here, and or whatever it is that you're doing, or maybe buying it here and I don't know, I'm just going to get out here or something like this, and it could come up to here in a heartbeat. Now this one, it didn't. It came up to here and then it really unfolded to the downside. But just keep an eye on like this move in here. I don't know. I find at least some of these measured moves in these times of volatility. I recall back in 2008, financial crisis. You get these huge moves, and it just keeps going to the downside. But then these whips to the upside are equally just incredible. I mean, it'll go down. Like I think I was trading the Dow at that time, and mini, and it was down like 1,000 points, and it was at less than 10,000 back then or something. I can't recall. So it was incredible moves, but then the whips back were like 700-800 points all right back. So keep in mind that it can do that, I think looking at the chart and the ATRs and the moves can give you some feedback on that.
Definitely. The other thing that I've said, I think, Bruce, on some of these, and like we talk about, the jobs and so forth, there are other assets you can look at that typically aren't as whippy. So if you look at gold or so forth, they can be a slightly smoother trade in the circumstances.
Like during the FOMC?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you look at a gold chart, it's not as whippy. And I know some people would say, if you look at, say, the Russell and so forth, but maybe over the weekend, look at some of the charts back on other futures and think, hey, yeah, that wasn't so bad. Oil, that wasn't so bad. You may have been, plurally, that may have been a slightly easier read than ES.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And your correlations for sure. Bring up another point.
Yeah, very, very true. Very true.
Yep, the correlations have been amazing. The liquidity grabs on NQ, and then seeing like today was a good example on the NQ with the deep show, with like a structured pullback, and I posted it in the academy, but NQ grabbed some liquidity and it up it goes. And NQ does that. It grabs that liquidity and then just goes.
Yeah,
And then if ES is,
yeah, it responds really well to liquidity. I find. I mean, crash. You're going to be up. I think in next or just after. You can talk about that with the NQ. But this is typical. Like here, like take a look in here of the ES trading into high liquidity here. Boom. You know, the NQ would actually keep going to the downside. But you know, yeah, responds very well to high liquidity in the order.
I posted a link in the chat just now that kind of shows that.
Okay.
NQ and ES, both of them,
Okay.
in the same photo.
David, anything else?
Nothing else, sir. No. So that's my two.
That's yours. You're finished. Okay.
Mine finished, and I'm just putting in the chat a gold chart from yesterday. I may be hanging myself here, Bruce. So as you guys, that's even more choppy, David, than the ES, and you probably got gold on the tab. So I'm UK time zone, so the number came out at 1900 here. You know, I'll still say that's
so it's about 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Might be a little bit more structure to it, but I appreciate it may not be. But yeah, it goes up and then it goes down.
It's funny how it correlates. Yeah.
But just a point, to have a look at some other assets. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
As an idea. And the other thing that I've said to Stephen while I've got the mic there, please, Bruce, and I mentioned CFDs a little earlier on. I do use CFDs. You can have a little bit less than an MES if you're looking to take a sort of a wider swing. But of course, Jack would say, "Well, hang on, let's start using some options and so forth." So there might be other instruments to be able to play FMOC as well.
Okay. Yep.
Nice table here from Slowdown.
Slowdown, yeah. So here you got your risk, MES.
Cheeky. Nice bit of Excel work there, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, gauging the risk quickly. Yeah, good idea. Slowdown. Thank you.
Yeah, big time.
All right. So let's see. Moving on, and let's see who's.
Thanks for posting that.
Who's in? Yeah, thank you, DNT.
Thank you.
Just some a bit of feedback on your. I gave it to the other day in the all markets webinar, but with the checklist stuff, just don't drive yourself crazy with that stuff. Like try to keep it really simple and blunt. You know what you're looking for, and it starts to do it, and you know how to act. If there's too many things, you may not know how to act. It may be.
I took your feedback. Yeah, that was good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Click that link that I just sent you in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good feedback. I appreciate it. I know what you're saying. It's called a setups list because it's. Oh no, that's not it. The one below it.
One below it. I thought that was it.
Oh, it didn't.
In which room here? Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Here we go. This one?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here you go. So like really keep it simple. And you got 6 in here. Still 6 is quite a bit. But you know what you're looking for, and maybe 2 or 3 start to set it up, and now you're kind of honing in on like maybe 4 and 5 for entry or something. And whatever works for you is really the answer.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a lot of people respond better to simpler things. And heck, we'll see what Crash has to say about, because I used a, an analogy of fighter pilots as well, and I don't know about, I'm just guessing, but I do know like Admiral Nelson and some of these very, very simple battle plans: simple, blunt, powerful, and effective. And David, that's how you trade as well. Like, you know what you're looking for.
Oh, completely.
You it's like, boom, there it is. All right, I'm going in heavy.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
And it works for you.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
most of the time. But yeah, I start swinging.
Yeah, and
Makes sense.
I'm not trying to say like, hey, if you're more analytical and you're looking for like a host of things to all line up, that's fine too. Just know what kind of trader you are, but try to even that. Don't try to overanalyze it. If it becomes like many different things, and then you don't know what you're looking for, one thing's going to cancel out the other, and then you're not going to be able to trade effectively. So
Yeah, it makes sense. The setups list is the for setup. Makes sense.
Exactly, and it's the first kind of step to like, okay, I know now that this is kind of studied, and I'm going to continue with my studies on my checklist until I really hone it and get it right. It's always evolving, this stuff. So let's see.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Why don't we just we'll jump right in with Crash, and since that's a good segue, and
Perfect segue.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So Crash, welcome back. I didn't go over you last week, but we are here for you now. So let's get him the mic. Here you go. And we'll scroll down here.
Good afternoon.
Hello,
Good
how are you?
afternoon, sir.
Excellent, thank you.
Well, first off, are we on point here? Like, I mean, you guys are in the ready room. You're going over the mission. You get up in the air. You rendezvous. You fly the mission. Then you come back and you debrief. Or you tell me. And how about like kind of simple, effective battle plans?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, sometimes you got to be a little more sophisticated. Sometimes you're just keep it simple. It kind of depends on the mission. Um, Obviously, in some of the examples I give, like the one on the bottom, if you see a surfer iceberg that comes out and it's in the direction, like for example, these sell ice up at the top of a liquidity zone, and I'm looking for a pullback anyways because I'm up at some point of resistance. Maybe as soon as I see it pop out, I might just hit the sell button right then and there. Keep it simple. The less moving parts, sometimes the better, right? You don't have to take 2 hours to analyze. You just make a quick decision. You keep a tight stop, and you're ready to rock and roll. In this particular case, you had one come out, then you had another one kind of trailing it down that was much larger, right? So that was just a real quick, easy scalp. It then filled the 471, came back and retested the number 2, did not break above it, and came back down and filled the liquidity down there around the 90 level. So this was a pretty simple, easy, fast trade. I mean, you got big, thick, dark liquidity. You had a big buy volume right into it. Couldn't break above it. They did not pull any of that liquidity right there. And then the surfers came right out telling you that they were trying to sell that spot. So to me, this was a pretty simple trade. Did it get tricky at one spot? Yeah, you kind of have to leg out a little bit when you reach that lower price down there at 128 when it bounced up and took out the 470 surfer lot and then came back up and tested. But if you already have your stop up there nice and tight and you already made profit, you don't have to panic. And then it retests it and it just comes back and finds that liquidity again lower. So this one I actually legged out and got back in it again to finish capturing that liquidity down at 2087.
Nice. So okay, so you got in up in here.
Yep,
You took some off down in here, or
that's
did you
right.
get all out down here?
No, I did eventually, because when it started to reverse against me, I'm like, I'm gonna, it's gonna come back and try to maybe test that other surfer. When
Yeah.
I see two surfers like that, and it fills one and it starts to bounce, I always think, well, they may want to test that one, and they did. They came back and tested it, and it failed the test, meaning it didn't break through it, and then it came back down and got that liquidity that popped up. I mean, look at that liquidity; it didn't show up till what, 8:40 ish.
Hmm.
So why would they bring that liquidity out all of a sudden down there at 28 at 2090 out of the blue? Have a bunch of surfer ice come out. I mean, it's revealing its hand, right? It's telling you it wants
Big
to go
time.
down and follow the yellow
Totally.
brick road, Dorothy, to the liquidity zone.
Yeah, totally.
Where's my red slippers?
Yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful. Beautiful trading. It really is. Remind me what time zone you're on there, Crash, please. You're
Yeah,
on.
I'm sorry. I'm Pacific Standard Time, and so are my
I thought
charts.
so. I thought so.
So this
Yeah.
is
Yeah. So
11:45.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. So let me. Okay. So let's go through that. I mean, great setup, really simple, and also your reaction to it, like we were just talking about, was not chaotic, or you knew exactly what you're looking for. You knew how to react, and you jumped in, and you were aggressive. So did you now the trade management? You basically it started to come back, and so you said, okay, you took some, and then maybe you got all out, and then you were looking for it, because you were looking for maybe this retest back up here. So did you get it, and then did you add in another trade up in here?
Yeah, no. So I trailed my stops down a little bit on this one, because sometimes if it's not, one of my more major setups, I don't want to take quite as much risk. If it's, if it's a standard setup that I do every day, I might not get out all of this. But this one, I actually did get out, because now I'm wondering, is it want to come back and test that and break through it to the upside,
No.
and spoof me with that lower liquidity? So that's why I put the re-enter if needed, because on this one, I did actually get stopped out as I was lowering my stops. And then when it came back and did not take out that number 2 surfer and turned south again, I actually re-entered and then caught it again all the way down to the liquidity zone.
Nice.
fantastic.
Nice move. That's great. That's great. It's order flow wise, it's kind of, I mean, I'm looking at it and it looks pretty kind of scary. Well, we can't see what happened over here. But I mean, you've got high liquidity up here. It transacts. It couldn't get through it. True, but we're seeing strength in here still. And like you said, like I would be kind of looking for maybe a move down here, and then maybe try to break out of the 150 level here. But
Yeah, for sure. But
instead,
when it
like,
doesn't, right? When it doesn't, and it bounces off or below that number 2 surfer up there, and you still have that fresh liquidity that does not go away down at the 2090. Look at the chart that you actually have. Look at this picture. Just memorize kind of, you're coming up from left to right. You're coming up into a consolidation, distribution, accumulation, whatever you want to call it, up there against the liquidity. And then it breaks back down to the right and comes back down to the 2090. Now just go back to the picture. I saw you had another picture of mine, another chart. Go to that chart, the Wyckoff Spring one, that's above that. Now look at this picture. What looks similar here? You're coming up left to right. You're doing the markup. You come up into a Wyckoff distribution channel, and then you sell down and you have the mark down. This is basically the same thing as what you just were showing, where you go up. Yeah, it could spring out the top or it could spring out the bottom. But the advantage you have on the one that you were just showing is you had massive number of sell ice come out at the top of the channel.
yeah, true.
So that, to me, when you see those huge sell ice orders like that, gives you and fresh liquidity. The one that, this picture doesn't have all the liquidity down below at that 19.6 level, but you did have it at that 2090 on the other picture.
Right.
So when you see liquidity, fresh liquidity just pop out of nowhere like that, that's all thick, you got to think they probably want to come back and get it. So you did the same thing. You mark up, you accumulate, you distribute back down.
Yeah, good point. I think I mean I'm always looking for this kind of like uh, transition, of from buy side to sell side. It can be kind of tricky to read. I mean, because there's quite a bit of buying over here. However, just like you said, look at the bigger picture here. We've got high liquidity, and you've got 470 chasing,
Yeah.
on the way down. And these guys did this two, which we don't know how much is behind the two. We know this guy got 470 off though, for sure.
That's right.
And he's still chasing. And this, I love what you said earlier. This is, if you're a larger player, I've heard other, institutional traders talk about this concept. It's not me. I'm just kind of the messenger here, of them saying, like, if you're a larger player, what are you going to do? You're going to look at this chart and you're going to think, okay, where can I get out? Because you have so much liquidity. So you're going to put that order in and you're going to be the first in line. And then you're going to do something up here. And in this case, it was icebergs. And you've got high liquidity here as well. So maybe this is your order. You've been waiting to get filled in here, and then you start to get filled, or you see it coming up. You're going to put your take profits in here. And just consider that mindset in here. Scott Pulcini is one of those traders that's talked about this. He was doing it on the Dome. He would first put his orders in, and then he would kind of like get people to buy it up here. Yeah, please buy. Hey, look at this. It's going to the moon. And then he comes in with massive size, and hooks them, traps them, and moves it. And this is where he wants to get filled. Anyways, just some considerations there.
Yeah. I just think the ice, I'm always willing to do what I call price discovery. So if you're not wanting to even come in heavy, you just want to take a chance because you've seen the pattern or the behavior happen over and over again, then you can just do, 2 or 3 micros, maybe 5 micros, whatever you feel comfortable with your account size. But I've posted enough pictures over the last 6 months, since I've been doing this since last November with you, right? So almost a year solid. And I have hundreds of pictures with buy or sell ice and how that reacts. So if you have any question about it, just go do a search on the, my name or the words surfer ice, and you will see over and over and over the same type of pattern and behavior. So you're not freaking out. But to me, I see a sell ice right at the top of a liquidity zone like that, especially a double one, and one starts chasing, I'm hitting that sell button and just trying to go along for the ride.
Yeah. Nice. David,
Perfect.
Swing in.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The thing to add in here, I haven't said it yet so far, is the London close, because that 8:30 is 11:30, isn't it? So you've got that.
It's exactly right. Profit taking off the European close.
European close. Your CVD is just for the chart or for the session?
That is for the chart.
For the chart. Okay. But that in itself is telling a little bit of a picture. We see it from the left-hand side getting through to about sort of 11:35, 40. It's sort of nudging down. It gets dragged up by those big volumes. But, just reiterating what you said, the 290, that yellow brick road, it's just screaming. And I've been doing a couple of posts on the surfers, or the Brian Wilsons, as I've occasionally called them, in London hours. They're there as well. They really are good signals, that's for sure. Worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
So, no, very nice charting. Good, great trading, Bruce.
I didn't do anything.
There you go.
I know what you mean. Anyway, great stuff, Crash. And I also,
David said sometimes he trades with one eye closed. So sometimes I do it with 2 eyes closed. So blind squirrel catches a nut every now and
then. Good. Did you see? I mean, you obviously like your birds. I was down at Duxford on the weekend, crash. I go to ducks for quite a lot. That's a separate conversation. But when I was down on the weekend, we had a B-17 and an Avro Lancaster flying side by side, which is a very rare sight these days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really is. Just and then we had some of the newer birds that you're used to, that's for sure, making a lot of noise.
Yeah, sound of freedom, baby. Love it.
Yeah.
Now, Crash, I mean, like, I'm serious. So, like, just not an in-depth explanation here, but like, those red flag exercises. I mean, those are, national, like, exercises, very complex. And how do you train, or how do you brief, or how do you even know what to do once you get in the air? How advanced is that, or I mean, what do the commanders do to try to make it or simplify it?
Yeah, it's not an easy short answer question, obviously. The red flag, green flag, Cope Thunder up in Canada, those are very complicated missions with hundreds of airplanes flying at the same time. I remember very specifically at Cope Thunder up in Canada, flying to ingress in my F-16 to go drop bombs on something, and the adversaries were coming against us. And I mean, it was like jets just flying left and right by your face. You wonder how we don't have more mishaps. I got to be honest with you, but that's kind of tongue in cheek. But we're very sophisticated, right? I mean, obviously we have hundreds and thousands of hours of training, millions of dollars put into us. Our electronic warfare gear is unbelievable. The amount of information that we can process at any one time. It's you have 2 radios. You're talking to your wingman, your flight lead, your package lead. You're talking to AWACS, the guys with the big radar on the top, who are helping you paint the picture of where all the bad guys are or the opposition is. You got your radar, you got your night vision goggles, you got your laser guided munition screens inside your jet. I mean, there's a lot of information. It's kind of like Bookmap order flow, right? Putting all the pieces together to figure out where to go and what to do. And that's why, a year ago when we did this Pro Series, I said it's kind of like flying with Bookmap's kind of like flying with a radar and a navigation set, because you need stuff to kind of help guide you. But that's the way it is in Red Flag, right? You have to have all those pieces put together so that you don't have the mid-air collision, so that you can go in and drop the bombs against the bad guys without getting killed. It is sophisticated. And honestly, if you're going to be a futures trader, you better get some sophistication to you. I mean, we try to dumb it down when we can, like this, right? I mean, this one was kind of a caveman one. I'm not going to lie. It's big liquidity zone with the double surfer, and it's just take a chance on it and have a tight stop, and then leg in, leg out, let your runners run, right? But sometimes you got to be more sophisticated, and I'm pretty clear in here about the level of study and information that I process during the day to prepare for trading. And if you want to stay in it long term, I do think you have to you have to keep it simple so that you're not having paralysis by analysis, but you also have to know enough to be successful. And you really do have to apply yourself and learn. And that's why you got to come to these sessions like we're doing now, so that you can become that sophisticated trader. I mean, look at all the stuff that Scotty does, right? I mean, look how sophisticated he is with all his methods and all his techniques that he teaches. And he had to go to that level of sophistication to be successful again, right? After he was trading the first set rounds and went and became a medical device guy, and then got out and came back to trading again. And he had to up his level of sophistication, and he did that with Bookmap and adding ATRs and some other stuff in here, his iceberg setups. And I just do the same thing.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you so much for that.
Yep.
Let's see if there's anything else in here to go over. I mean, I put this one in here too, because here's something really simple that's been known for like over 100 years now. I mean, Wyckoff, these, the 4 kind of stages of accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. and how simple that can be. And here you've got your like Slowdown has, like, you've got your image or diagram. This is what you're looking for, and then here it is on the chart. The really nice stuff there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I clearly stole his idea of implanting the Wyckoff picture inside the chart. I think this may be actually, I think I've labeled it before, but this may be the first time I actually cut and paste the picture into it. But, I try not to just do the same thing every single day, showing the same thing over and over. So I try to mix it up a little bit just to keep it fresh when people are reading it. But Slowdown's really good at this, and there's a reason he's good at it, because it makes sense and it's smart. And the thing about Bookmap, again, is if you're up at this distribution level, what do you have at the top of the distribution level of that channel? You have a liquidity zone. You can see the liquidity there, right? And
Absolutely.
Bookmap helps you figure it out. Now, do you know which way it's going to go? No, you don't. Is it going to spring out? You have an idea, maybe because you've memorized some of these pictures. Maybe you have some other levels up there. I have
your VWAP.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the VWAP right there. I mean, perfect example. Well said, David. You got other things for confluence that help you make a decision.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the story.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, this is where, like, everyone in here is trading, some sort of method. And like Valleyfan's, he's looking at his pivot points or pivot levels, and then looking at order flow. Or we have Shark Blue in here, and he's looking for his 1 2 3 pattern in here. It is the same stuff, that you're looking for. It just different kind of ways of coming to it and understanding it. Yeah, just if it makes sense to you in a different way, great. Whatever, as long as you get something that's gives you that high probability outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah. Well, look what order flow does here, right? Look at the volume dot at the top, the green one, where you're kind of springing up just a little bit before you cruise on down for that markdown phase. But look at those two huge, large volume dots that you get as it's breaking through the bottom of the distribution channel. I mean, that is two really big sell dots.
Yep.
So what do you think is going to happen when you get two back-to-back sell dots like that, and the second one is breaking down below the channel or the rectangle?
Yep.
You're probably going to keep going.
Yep. And look where you came back to retest.
Exactly.
It's uncanny,
It's uncanny, but yeah, it's uncanny. And these are the nuances of Bookmap that you got to be able to pick up while it's happening to help you get into the trade.
Yeah.
And on this one, I saw that big, huge dot, and I'm like, okay, is it going to mark down or is it going to break up to the top? But we had VWAP up there. We had a right shoulder that was a little bit lower than the left shoulder when you're looking at the distribution box. We call it the T-dome in my room, the Thunderdome or box of death.
Nice.
But, you see it. Sometimes it does that little peekaboo above that right corner. Other times it makes a lower high, and that's what it did on this one. Made a lower high against a little thicker liquidity zone, and then you get the two huge sell dots at the bottom of the distribution channel, and that's your key to go short.
Yeah.
You sell the breakdown on that one.
All right, Commander. That's we don't. That's well said.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Crash. I don't know. I mean, I have other images here. I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention. They all look.
Oh, there's that picture of the second breakdown right there.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Great.
You can see the retest of that iceberg up at the top, the 2 lot, right?
Yep.
And then it just comes back down and catches that liquidity zone that people popped in there.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent. So this was 570. It looks like this other guy. And so about 100 more he got filled, and then it went immediately against him.
That's big, Frankie. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Yeah, this is great stuff. Great images. Great trading.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. The only thing to add on the prior chart was, again, that time of day, Bruce, that was sort of lunchtime. So that congestion building up, bouncing off the bumper bars, that is your sort of getting toward, not that one, the
first
before
one. Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
is
This one.
is just coming out. The Wyckoff one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
through. That's sort of well and truly through lunch. Coming out of lunch, isn't it?
That's right.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. So that congestion that is what you should expect in lunchtime. Not always, but yeah.
Yep.
And after lunch we get going. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Let's see. That's all I had from you, Craig. Well, I had this one too. I don't know if you want to mention anything on this one here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a continuation trade, right? You kind of have a pullback, and then you know, if you don't want to get down there at the market pulse VPI, the bottoming of the CVD, you can wait to the right-hand side. You get a double bottom with a higher low, right? And so this is a perfect trade setup as well. You can pick either one. I actually did both, but the one I was trying to show the most on this one was the right-hand side, because I think it just adds confluence to a continuation trade. I mean, you get a market pulse DPI on the left side, you come back on the right, you double test the bottom with a higher low, and now you're ready to continue on with your upward price action.
It's beautiful. It's you got your Dorothy at your 21.50, and again, it's getting towards European London close. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, sometimes, honestly, with a book map like this, it's like taking candy from a baby.
It is. Yeah, it is. Fishing in a barrel with a shotgun. Yeah.
It really is. And sometimes you just gotta, pull back and look at the forest through the trees, but you got to be able to see this stuff. It really is laying out the framework. I know it's easy said. I'm sure not always easy done, but really, you just study these pictures over and over again. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's that muscle memory, like you've rightly talked about the thousands and thousands of flight training in simulators as well as in the skies and everything else that you've done. It's that becomes it's instantaneous. You know how to react. You know what to pick off the chart, what's periphery and what's vital, and then you make a decision.
Exactly. I mean, the nice thing about this is look where the liquidity started there, right? The liquidity came in as you're going away from it.
Right.
So now you're like,
yeah.
You don't think they want to come back and hit that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
beautiful.
It's like easy.
It's a wet paint sign, isn't it? Sort of thing. Don't wet paint, don't touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to go, Crash. I mean, really, like compliments here. Like not only is it like I remember like before, like there was a lot on kind of like the market pulse and CVD and indicator, and now you're talking about structure and liquidity and volume. So you're talking about order flow a lot more. And it's really great because here it is. Like you said, it seems like it's kind of complex or easier said than done, but it's here. It's in here. And you can look for these moves. And like you were saying, like, this guy's putting it in at this point here, is maybe he down in here? He's in first in line, looking to get filled up here. I don't know. I mean, that's speculation. We don't know, but you can see someone's
what you're doing is you're
after
using the order flow, right? For hot, you're trying to give yourself an advantage of a statistical advantage.
Yeah. Reduce the risk. Yeah.
Reduce the risk, and that this picture is painting for you a risk reduction trade.
Yeah. And that pullback, I always sort of quote Tom wrong, and I'm sure someone in the chat will correct me, but Tom sort of talks about that checking back in RL3, that double bottom higher low, if you've rightly called it, is such a classic. It springs off the bottom, it comes back down, doesn't get quite as far, and then it moons it. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Nice stuff.
Awesome
nice
tool.
Stuff.
Awesome tool.
Thanks so much, Crash.
Yep.
Yeah, great stuff, Crash. Great stuff, sir.
Thanks, everybody. We'll look forward to hearing everybody else. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Let's see. Stephen, I have you here, but I didn't see anything from you. I didn't see one trade from you in the spreadsheet. So I didn't know what to do or what to cover here. Oh,
He's
you
not
haven't
traded
traded
this
this
week.
week. Okay, I see. All right. Yeah, well, anyway, we try to, we see you guys are in here all the time. So we want to go over the guys that, show up. Rob, we can go over Rob though. He's up here. Just some of the text in here, you did another markup of a continuation. Um, Rob, it is a difficult time during rollover period for sure. It's hard to be rather objective because traders are doing all sorts of different things. Oh, you mentioned that here. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's open the mic for you and let us know what you're looking at here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Hi, Rob. Hope all's well.
Hi. Hi, how's it going?
Good, sir. Good to have you back.
Yeah, so I'm still working on that continuation trade, just trying to use that original checklist and I put numbers by them so I can try to mark up a bunch of these easily.
Uh-huh.
And I go back in hindsight, this one was hard to see in real time.
That's fine. I mean,
And,
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to see in real time, but you can see there that number 2 there, that's where the buying comes in. Then you've got a pullback. The sellers aren't really doing anything anymore. And then you've got another measured move up into the liquidity up there, and that's pretty heavy liquidity.
Yeah. Yes.
So now these get pretty hard to spot in real time, and you have to make the decision real fast. Am I going to push the button or not? And I still find that that I hesitate a little too much, even when I start to see the thing happen. So I'm still working on that. I'll hop in on the simulator, replay mode in the afternoons, try to work on it sometimes. That's still a little different because I already knew what happened.
Right.
So it's just another work in progress still.
So are you finding that helpful though, so that in hindsight, now you play it in replay mode and you trade it? Are you finding it because it's gonna do, but are you kind of like looking for that? Okay, now it's really telling me something. I can see it here in real time in replay mode, and has that been helpful for you?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's trade management because sometimes I'll put my stops too tight, and then they'll get pinged. They'll just barely get pinged, and then it continues. Yeah, everybody knows how frustrating that is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it's just one of those setups where it's a little bit more difficult to see ahead of time. Like if I could start to see it winding up and I'm like, okay, this thing's looking like it's going to happen. At least give me 10, 20 seconds where I can see it ahead of time. I mean, that would help quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then other times I'll see in higher time frames. Like I use R Trader Pro, kind of similar to how you do on the
Webinars.
on your webinars in the morning. And I tried adding these Darvis boxes in. That's something that you can add in there.
Yeah.
the Darvis boxes kind of make sense. I kind of see where, okay, it's a high and a low. And you'll see a lot of times it'll revisit the bottom of the Darvis box, keep going, or the top, keep going.
What would you think is similar to like the Darvis box that we just covered earlier with Crash?
Just some of that Wyckoff stuff. You get some of those boxes, you can draw the rectangles in there.
Right. So from markup to distribution or accumulation, and then another markdown or markup period.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just been pretty difficult for me to trade lately. We've had a lot of days that just end up being kind of neutral. You look at a daily chart. We did have a series of some up and down days, but then there was a good 2 weeks or something, like from, you see here, like August 19th to the 30th. So that was like a good 10 days where it was just kind of stuck in that one level, and that was really hard to try to figure out. Okay, what's the context here? Where is this going, up or down? And then it just turns out like it's going sideways. I think part of that might have been that FOMC stuff that was going on. We had a bunch of economic news coming out.
Have we been covering times of day? Has that been helpful for you?
Yeah, I mean, because there's just only a certain amount of time I can concentrate effectively on this. Like 2 hours, you start to kind of lose your focus. I start to lose my focus after about 2 hours of looking at this stuff, watching all the dots and stuff on the chart move. So ideally, something I'd like to do is be able to trade the ETH session, because I'm more of a night owl. I've never really been all that much of a morning person. I'd like to be able to trade before the bell rings, and then go on a schedule like that, because I'm still, overall, I'm looking for fairly small moves. I'm looking for, maybe 4 or 5 points. We'll get to that measured move, and then I'm trying to look for other ones.
Yeah, sounds good. And I like the kind of focus on the continuation pattern is a momentum move, a pause, and then followed by another momentum move. So we're talking about momentum, and I think it's one of the easier things to, Bookmap shows it pretty well, and it's one of the easier things to trade, because you don't get stuck in a range, or at least you're trying to avoid that, and you're just trying to jump on the move when it's happening, and you can be in and out in a couple of minutes, and be pretty happy a lot of the times, instead of looking for, I don't know if this is I don't know exactly what day, or a lot of things in here, but you do have some nice things in here. It's trending up. You've got your VWAP in here, but it kind of spikes through. But you guys know how I feel about VWAP. But we have a swing here, previous swing. We have high liquidity in here, high liquidity, and all of it trades. We go through the swing, and then this is where that toxic move really takes place. Above here, and then certainly at this point here, it's not coming back.
I didn't. You can see where those 3 red volume bars are, and they're starting to get absorbed by that bid liquidity there.
I'm sorry.
And then you start
Which volume bars?
Yeah, those ones around there, those big
Okay.
red ones.
This one, and this one.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that reversal move from the videos. You know, you got liquidity coming in, getting filled, and then it gets filled again, and then it finally gets filled a third time, and that's probably stop run right there.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I mean, this is the bot remover one, so I wasn't able to get the stops and icebergs on it,
right?
For some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't work on the Trader Map Pro. On chart works, but not sub chart.
Yeah.
It's getting
Sometimes the sub chart's a little bit easier to look at versus the on chart one.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll get too much stuff on there that I'm trying to look at, but the sub chart makes it pretty clear. Okay, was it a big was it a big batch of buy or sell stops? You know, sometimes you look at the on chart one and it's like, okay, I don't really get the whole picture. But yeah, I mean, as far as that basic check, trapped traders. That's kind of a hard thing. I have a trouble seeing. Maybe that can improve my game here.
Sure. We'll go over it more and more. I think it's I always kind of think it's pretty simple to notice them. You just look at some of the swings and then the moves below it. Like this is certainly going to be a stop run. You know, certainly a stop run over here is probably as well. Maybe it even started up here. You know, also below some of these swings in here, there's going to be stops. And this one looks like really capitulation at this point. And then, you know, look at the pullbacks. You know, it just kind of pulls back to here, and then that's it. So that's when you're waiting and watching in here. You know, what helps me too is to look at the market structure on those moves. I like looking at the trend lines and also the horizontal lines. Just structure. You know, this is where it dropped from, and there's high liquidity here as well. And now I'm looking for, do we get buyers above this area here? And it, you know, these guys in here, they're not going to get out if this pulls away. And then you should see some nice stops run way up.
Kind of seeing it in hindsight with the volume bars and hitting that liquidity. I'm going, okay, this is. It seems like it's starting to reverse.
We'll start to look,
and then it finally did.
Yeah. Start to look for where the stop runs are taking place. This is like what we were just talking with Crash. I mean, like, you know, he noticed his surfer icebergs, and you know, he started to put that. He noticed again and again, and he talked about looking at then hundreds of images now. Now there's something to it. Now there's something he can lean on, and he can make a high probability trade out of that by understanding the phenomena. So you know, maybe that's why we start in here, like what Slow Down very nicely put this together here. We look at the very beginning of the problems today with this. But you know, just start with marking up your charts, noticing things, understanding the phenomena, getting the right you know, vocabulary, terminology together, and then start to refine that, and then, you know, start to notice things a little bit closer. That's interesting. I marked it up here, you know, hundreds of or several times, dozens of times. Now I'm starting to note that there's something else here, like the surfer iceberg doesn't get, you know, he always gets filled, or whatever whatever it is, or that high liquidity, it seems to always trade before it reverses, more likely to, like in NASDAQ or something. And then that's how you can put this together in your final piece here with your checklist. And then, now you're looking for something very specific. So, here Slowdown has put together his little spring pattern in here. How many of us we've seen, I don't know how many of these now from Slowdown.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, it's almost, it's almost picture perfect. So he knows exactly what he's looking for. This he already had made, is it doing it? Looks like it. Okay, so now this is where he entered, target and target. That's something to consider when if you like the trap volume, which I think is a really good one. It's totally underrated. Look for the trap, and you're going to find traders on the other side, most likely. That's just how the market works a lot of the time. It just people get trapped, they get squeezed, they have to trade to get out. They have to trade. So look for that and get good at that. And I think you're you don't have to look at much else, to be honest. But sounds like that's something you like. You want to get good at. Start to notice it, mark it up. And then add that into your continuation pattern, for example.
Yeah, and I found for a while I was starting to get too dependent on, looking at some of these lines on the chart, the point of control and the VWAP and everything, and I was just getting mixed results because sometimes the order flow is saying something different than whatever the VWAP or the point of control is. You'd expect price to come back and revisit them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll just keep on going all day. It'll never come back down.
Yeah, true.
So
that's where, like you said, right when we started, that trade management, you found through your replay mode, it really comes down to trade management.
yeah, and then I find like, oops, I clicked at a wrong point, and now my trade management's off because my stop is right down in an area that can get hit very easily. And so that's something I'm working on. Where because I'm always trying to use brackets. So I have a pretty good idea. Okay, here's where I'm going to put my limit at. It's usually in an area high liquidity like that. Then the stops. Sometimes I'll be in it and I'll be like, oh, now I'm going to have to drag this stop down to an area where it's more risk than what I wanted to put on because of the structure of the thing.
Yeah, those are all considerations, and if it doesn't look good in trade management, you might have to just let that one go by.
Yeah, and I mean, part of it is I'm trying to judge multiple things. And you've got like 1 second with some of these because they'll just shoot up like that real fast. Like you see how fast the buyers came in.
Yeah,
it's like just boom. You got like 2 seconds or something.
Yeah,
to be like, okay, I'm going to click the button or not. So I just didn't need to keep working on it. Find ways where I'm like, okay, here's a little bit of heads up. Something telling me just a little bit ahead of time. Okay, be on the lookout. Be real sharp right now because this thing might come up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of what we're just covering with Crash. He's looking for this, and this, and in his setup, and he doesn't know. But like, I'm going to take a shot at it. He's marked it up enough times. He knows what he's looking for. If it doesn't work out, he had to stop right above the swing or the liquidity. That's it. And get stopped out, move on to the next one. Don't let that. I think when we started the webinar, we were talking, David, right, about
We were. Yeah.
what's her name? Something
Basketball.
Daily. You guys probably know. She's a coach for South Carolina, the Buzzcocks. And what did she say? Let me try to find. It's driving me nuts. If I can't remember her first name. But let's see.
Google's been hit hard. Yeah.
So it's anyway. She had said something about she would just be totally devastated on a loss, a big loss, it. And in some cases, it affected her for like several months, and then she found a way. I thought it was just brilliant to overcome that. The same with big wins. She would be overly elated and just celebrating for too long, and then maybe make a lot of mistakes due to that. And overconfident. So instead, she would celebrate that win for a 24-hour period, or really feel that loss for a 24-hour period, and that's it. And then move on. That day is over. It's a new day. Move forward.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think someone's going to come in here with the right answer.
They're going to give you the name. Yeah.
I know. I'm looking for it. It's just driving me nuts. Sorry. But David, let's get you in here. You've been. I'm sorry.
Swing me in. Yeah. Let me unpack that a little bit more, because before the call, we always catch up with Bruce and that, just to sort of look at the slides and that. And I was just sharing how tired I was feeling a bit today, and just echoing really what Bruce has said. It's unlike other things that we can do in life as a profession. You're as good as your last game, and that's what Bruce was talking about on the basketball side. Is you are, whether you had a great day yesterday or not such a great day yesterday. Today, Thursday, is another day. Doesn't matter what I did yesterday. It's the trades today that I've got to take, and that's a segue there, Rob, in terms of your hours at the screen. I get tired. We all get tired. I do. I'm up early. I make my notes. I call it my trade plan. I look at what's happened overnight, what Moby's been doing out of Australia, and then I think, well, where may we go? Where's my VWAPs, my VPOCs, that sort of thing. Not too much on the news side, but try and work out where we may end up going, what we might do. So, like this morning, not trying to be too cocky about it, but those that saw my post, I was adamant we were going to have a big day upwards, because we hadn't had a big day yesterday upwards, and that was my plan. I don't nail myself to it. I'm not doing a dawn Staley. I don't nail myself to it. Yeah, to it. But after, and dog walking as well, Laura. After sort of mid-morning, I take a break. Easy to say that. I will go and take a break. I might be at home. I might go noodle on my guitar or something else, or turn up my Britney Spears as I do. And then I'll try and come back maybe after the gym for lunchtime. So don't be, I'm sure you do, Rob, don't be, if I say worried about taking time away from the screens. It's quite normal for us to need to do that, and so forth. And in the afternoon, I'll come on to ETH in my afternoon. I'll trade the RTH Open, but very often, again, those that seen some of my posts in Spot Gamma, I'll get my tea, I get some biscuits, Bruce, and I'll take a photo next on my desk. And the market can be going mad, but I'm just enjoying my tea. I have a moment out, as crazy as that can be. We use the word we need that. So don't feel ashamed, embarrassed, or it's not the right thing to do. Take as much time out as you do. In terms of ETH, yeah, if I say I have the luxury of that time zone based in the UK at the moment, being able to play London. Like today, London was a monster, wasn't it? Sort of 30 handles. I put in the chat. It's moved up a bit now. And that's John. John, who's, I think he's in New Jersey. He's a bit north of you, Bruce. I think he won a blue jacket a few years ago. John regularly joins me in Spot Gamma room of a morning. And it's quite interesting how we'll be looking at the Bookmap charts. We'll be seeing the same things and slightly different things. And I'll bring my ninja charts and so forth. But there's I'm going to say it's easier. It's not necessarily easier, contradict my bad English here, guys. But certainly ETH trading, when London gets going, can be a lot smoother. Like today. And today's can be a typical day. You get into a trend. And the complaint that, if I say you Americans, Bruce, when you joined sort of my lunchtime, and when the market's gone up, 2% or so, and it is a WTF moment. How can I get in, David? You've taken the market out. Where's my point to get in? And it can be frustrating. But look at it. Do look at it. The other thing you mentioned, Don, was sort of hesitation on taking trades. Now, I may have read it wrong, so apologies if I have on that. But I have heard and read, you may have as well, Bruce, of traders. They literally get their partner, they get their wife, they get one of their kids to take the trades for them, because they're so hesitant with a mouse or whatever you're using to go, right, Bruce, go long, that sort of thing. I might be being a bit sort of facetious about that. The other thing to add in here, and I always talk about trading with Tom, I talk about trading with Moby, I talk about trading with Yuri, and all these friends. I think I knew Tom before Bookmap, but they've become good buddies, and I know from the chat, the way I read the chat and I read the post, Bruce, that you've got that sort of thing. But if you haven't got good trade buddies, someone that trades like you, like me and Moby trade NQ pretty much the same. Now, if he's on the call, he might go, I'm not sure about that anymore, David. But we trade it similarly, aggressive, combative, alpha male sort of approach to it, whereas perhaps other traders are a bit more passive on it. See if you can find or rehone your trade buddy in the academy of someone you can really spar off and hone these setups that Bruce is rightly talking about, which is then the other thing at that time of day. If you're looking for limited hours at the screen, those, just get out of bed like John does. I say, John, back to John. John, he's 5 hours behind me, but he's regularly here doing the London Open, and that's 3 a.m. for him. I don't know what's going on with his personal life, but he loves to trade that London Open, get his points, get his handles out, make 5-10 points, and then he probably goes back to bed. He's done his day. Find your rhythm is there. I've rambled there, Bruce. Terrible. I wasn't even talking about the chart, was I? I wasn't even talking. Life stories. But yeah.
No, it's great stuff. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, it's actually really. One of the principles here in the academy is like-minded traders, it's not just the coaching. It's you're in the community, and the back and forth between the members in the community is going to be rather invaluable.
It is. It's like I was talking to Yuri last week, or DOV, and he's a fantastic trader. He really is, and. Laura's put the dog walk, one of my favourite trades, as she's rightly putting out. And a year or so ago, Yuri said, I want to unpack what you talk about the dog trade. And as you've heard Bruce say, I'm a more sort of spontaneous trader. I look at my charts and I get a feel, and I've got obviously my little mental checklist, and in I go. And Yuri's not like that. He wants some real detail. He's a programmer, as you know. He's an ex senior military guy, which is great, and he's been unpacking a lot of that, and he's been sharing some of the posts in the academy in that trader day, and he's got some really interesting setups he's using. And what he's been looking at, Bruce, is actually when the algos get turned on, the big London algos are coming in, and don't trade if they're not on. Just don't trade until they turned on. And I hadn't thought of it like that. I thought like the algos are on all the time, but they're not. So he's looking at when the algos come in, the big institutional algos are coming in and trading, looking at those various levels, and then just trading with them. And that's part of that was all about unpacking the dog walk. But what's my point? My point's not necessarily about that, everyone. It's about finding those like-minded trade buddies, sort of thing, which, you know, I know you're all doing. There's a question here, Bruce, regarding lunchtime. Yeah. Again, that goes back to, I've mentioned him many times, sort of Will Shy, and I know if you've been reading that book, that swing trade, day trading sort of thing, in terms of, and he's not the only person that talks about it, where the day is broken up. Now, and you've heard Scott talk about that as well, Bruce, in terms of typically lunchtime New York, Chicago, the big boy traders, they go to the lunches. Now, they may not do that so much anymore, Dave, but they go off to lunch. They leave the junior traders in charge with the algos and everything else running. So you'll typically get that congestion through lunch. And then once the big boys come back in, and girls, I should say, big boys and girls come back in, old school, they may have had a few beers, a few wines. No, we don't anymore, David. And that's when you can get that move out of lunch. That's when that move out of lunch. That's the sort of thing that I was sort of talking about. And I think we saw that on Crash's chart. You have the congestion through lunch finishes. Will talks about it, and I feel it's a very valuable time. If you look back on your charts, day in, week out, month out, now sure, it's not a signal service. You look at 2:30 New York time every day, and typically it is another frame. It's another point of action. And I have it in my mind of, okay, for me, it's 7:30 of an evening, right? 7:30-ish, as Bruce is trying to find it, 7:30-ish. The boys and girls have come back from lunch. What is happening? Is volume picking up? What is sort of going on? And if I look at that chart there, 2:30, it starts to sell down, doesn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, 2:30s right around in here.
Yeah.
So it's already pulled off the top. It's, you know.
It has, yeah.
And
so
yeah.
So find those, look at those sort of times really, Rob, and see what can perhaps chime with you. So you maximize those couple of hours at the screen before, you know, taking some downtime and, you know, chilling out and recharging your battery before you do that. And, you know, back to that ETH start and London start and so forth and dog walks. If you know your key setups, you can make it. I know you kindly shared on one of the webbies a good few weeks back. You can easily make that sort of. I roll it under Bruce as that sort of one and done, and that's definitely what John's doing a lot of. He does a lot of other great stuff. He trades stocks, he does options, he's all over the assets, which is fantastic. But just coming in for an hour or so, knowing your setups, knowing what's happening on order flow, getting in, getting out, and leaving, having scalped away, and then getting on with your day.
Yeah, and I figure maybe ETH isn't going to be so fast and crazy as the RTH session.
It's not.
Maybe it'll give me a little bit more time to look at what I'm doing versus like, okay, I got my finger on the trigger here. I got 1 second to decide, or the thing is took off without me.
If Bruce can pull that chart back to sort of 3 a.m., please, Bruce. If it's a live chart, isn't
it? Yes. So
can you go to the left to 3 a.m.?
I don't know if I have 3. I only have the 7 a.m. here.
Okay. You ramble, and I'll see if I can do you a screenshot.
Okay. Well, I mean, we are kind of rambling a bit here about kind of that trader psychology thing, but there is something, and Rob, this might also be helpful for you, because I know that you had mentioned you get frustrated. Well, we all do. We all get frustrated on, you know, like a string of losses or something like that. You can consider this as like what David was just talking about in terms of this guy John. He waits, and he in the morning, like we all want to kind of jump in and get going and make money, and we're excited, and that it's really dangerous. So wait for your setup, wait for that high probability trade, and nail it, and try to nail it. Like if it's not, that will build confidence and start your day off right. So if it goes against you and it was something that it was your setup though, that's what you look for, and it goes against you, well, that's just the market. Every now and then it you don't have no one has 100% in their trading as wins.
No,
so
no.
There's going to be losses, and that's just one of them. But if you wait and you really wait for your really key setup and you grab it, and even if you get like 2 or 3 points out of it, that's going to really help. Like David, you do this exact same thing. You do exactly this. You trade the ETH.
Yeah.
You make some money in there, and then and then you don't give it back. Or if you do give it back, you make sure you don't go into the negative. You're playing with the bank's money.
Yeah. That's my plan every day. Yeah. The only risk I'm trying to take is that first one trade, or worst case, let's say 2 trades to get on board. In the chat, Bruce, I put the today's chart of the London Open, and now sure, it's compressed, so it doesn't tell everything to you, Rob. But you just look at that price action today; it's a lot more measured, albeit it did go vertical. We had a small little pullback on the open, not unusual. That sort of sucker's punch, that jiggling around, but it was about 7-8 points. And then it's just gone north. It's gone north after that. So yeah, definitely take a look at it. Reach out to John. I'm sure he won't mind. He's a great guy, great trader, and maybe have a chat to him and see if he. But it's nice to see. I know quite a few people join for the ETH trading, Bruce. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at how that helps your mindset. You've said this many times in the past. Like your mindset is it's in line with your trade management or account management, or money management, I should say, because like you make some money and then you're gonna now you can play with the house's money. But it either works or it doesn't. Great way to go about it, kind of really reducing your risk.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that chart's compressed and that POC may not now be real because the day's gone on. You might correct me on that, Bruce, but just look at that. The POC's gone up, or VPOC, as I always call it, has gone up just after the open. There's some slight filtering on that, so I think all the bubbles are above 5 trades, but it's going to be within the sort of charts we've seen today by Crash and others in terms of that sort of higher lows printing, VPOC support. You got the VWAP is going up. There's various bits of ice going on and so forth. When I'm trading that, I'm also looking at what's happening in Germany and France and other European indices to make sure they're going the same way, and they were. You just get in, and once that gets going, as Bruce will know, I'm just scaling. I'm just 2-3 points up, add another one. 2-3 points up, add another one. 2-3 points, add another one. When that got going, I was up to 9 contracts at one stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
from a single.
This is a thing of beauty, David. I mean, because like here's your setup. Well, and this is what I see as your setup. FOMC yesterday. And now the close. London session. Look, and it doesn't come back. You don't even get a chance to come back. It looks like maybe this is your only pullback in here, and that's it. That's it. You will not get a chance to get in. Look at high liquidity getting filled all the way up.
As I say, the guys, some of the spot gamma guys, they were cursing and swearing of like, where the fuck do I get in here?
Yeah. And this happens all the time in the London session, though.
Yeah.
As you and Moby know, I mean, like, here, look, this is what you traded this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you traded even better. You traded this here from here on up to, I don't know, someplace in here.
Some gap, yeah.
You know?
It was massive today, absolutely massive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing of beauty, and easy trading for you. I mean, like in fact,
It was.
not
It was,
only
yeah.
did you let this run, you added in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing of beauty, David.
Beauty. A beauty trade. Not every day, obviously, for ETH guys, but definitely worth staying up for. Reach out to John.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
master of
Okay. Well,
midnight oil trading.
yeah, sounds good. Let's see. Rob, any more comments? I think we're over the 2-hour period. We gotta wrap it up now, guys. As you kind of gather your parting words, guys. I just want to also let you know that I put into the you'll see it in the Bookmap chat. If we didn't get to you, I mean, the coaches did a great job, and they went through and put together your Notion file, or your content in the Notion file. So go have a look through these files in here, and you may get some feedback from some of the coaches. All right. So I'm sorry if we didn't get to you, but we did get to a lot of other people in here as well. So yeah, Rob, any parting words on this?
I appreciate all the advice and you guys going through all of our material and everything. So I mean, it's a pretty monumental task trying to be successful at this. So I'm just going to keep at it.
Yeah, great attitude. And David, I'll let you round it out.
Thank you, everyone. Been a real pleasure, and always, as I say, humble to be looking at all the charts and postings and trades that you do, and we all work together. And anyone else, reach out, and we'll try and catch up one-to-one, so to speak. But yeah, have a great weekend when it is, and yeah, take some time out as well. Thank you, Bruce.
Okay, thank you so much, David. Thank you, everybody. Great content.
Thank you, everyone. Great work. Speak soon. Take care. Bye-bye.